Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho Bryan Kohberger case, retracing the steps of Bryan Kohberger, particularly during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, after the murders were committed, where 4 college students were brutally stabbed during the early morning hours, around 4, a little after 4 a.m. According to the affidavit of probable cause, Bryan Kohberger's phone pinged south of Moscow, Idaho, where these murders occurred, Genesee, then Uniontown, Washington, up to Pullman, and then into the daytime. According to the affidavit of probable cause, Bryan Kohberger's phone pinged in Lewiston, Idaho, and Clarkston, Washington, Johnson, Idaho, and then surveillance scene, a similar white vehicle in Pullman, Washington. I made a few videos about some of the places that was mentioned in the affidavit of probable cause. Check those videos out. Gives you an idea and a perspective of that area. But we're going to talk about another town along the route most likely Bryan Kohberger took, 195. We're talking about a town of Colton, Washington. Colton, Washington. It is between Uniontown and Johnson, Washington on 195. All right, so Bryan Kohberger passed through this town, Colton, Washington, on his way back to Pullman. Colton. This little town. This is Highway 195. Colton. A lot of times Google Maps don't have videos of these towns. So I'm showing you videos of what this area looks like. Colton. Turn here down the street. Steptoe Street. It's called Steptoe Street. Colton. It's a Colton market, and it looks like a church and a few houses. Not much else. Looks like there's a school. Go back onto the main street here. This guy mowing his lawn. There, mowing his lawn. Colton. Stop anywhere around here and dispose of the weapon, murder weapon, evidence. Looks like there's a school here. Colton School. Sign 195 North. Says Pullman, 12 miles, Colfax, 12 miles, 12 miles to Pullman. Colton, Washington. Did Bryan Kohberger stop there at any time? You know, there's a large gap on the afternoon, into the afternoon of November 13th, after between 1 and 5:30 p.m. There's a large gap of where Bryan Kohberger could be, because the affidavit of probable cause says Bryan Kohberger's phone pinged in Johnson, Idaho, 5:30 p.m. on November 13th, and then it went blank. He previously at 1 o'clock he was down by the Albertsons in Clarkston, Washington, but there's towns in between there. Did Bryan Kohberger stop in any of those towns? And that's why I asked about Colton, Washington. And here's what Colton, Washington looks like on the map. So this is Google Maps, and I have two locations marked: Steptoe Apartments in Pullman, Washington, where Bryan Kohberger lived, and a small town called Colton, Washington. And it's on Highway 195. It's just north of Uniontown, Washington, across from the border of Idaho. You can see here is Moscow. Bryan Kohberger traveled this route here, 195, on the afternoon into the evening of November 13th, 2022. He did pass through Colton. Did he make any stops? Because according to the affidavit of probable cause, Bryan Kohberger's phone pinged in Johnson, and I made a video showing the location of Johnson. Also in the affidavit of probable cause, it says during the early morning hours after the murders happened, between 4:50 and 5:30 in the morning, Bryan Kohberger's phone pinged in Uniontown, Washington, which is south of Pullman, and assuming that he took this route back up to Pullman, Washington, to his Steptoe Apartments right off the Washington State University campus. But here's the town of Colton. Did he stop at Colton at all? At the very least, he traveled through this small town just north of Uniontown, just south of Johnson. Let me know what you think. So, it's very possible that Bryan Kohberger stopped in Colton, Washington, or any of those little towns or communities, or off the road in between, for numerous reasons. Maybe to dispose of the knife, the murder weapon, maybe some bloody clothing, gloves, maybe to get rid of digital evidence that he had on him. But I'm suspecting he took these routes after the murder and into the day, the same day, into the 13th, for a particular reason, not just to go for a drive. I think he went down to Clarkston, Washington area to dispose of evidence, or maybe shop and get some cleaning supplies at the Albertsons. Who knows? But I'm trying to figure this out. Wish we had more information, but I wanted to put things into perspective to you guys and share a little bit about the area and show you what the area looks like. And my videos of the different places he's been to kind of gives you that idea. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho case. Check out my Moscow, Idaho playlist, covering this case extensively, giving you up-to-date information as it comes. So praying for the victim's family, trying to get answers. We'll talk soon. Stay tuned.